All right, so yesterday Donald Trump was impeached by the United States House of Representatives, and because of that, I thought it made sense to do a video where I describe how the impeachment process works and hopefully along the way answer some of the common questions that I've been seeing online about like how the impeachment process works. And through this, I hope to be as unbiased as I can be and really be objective in how I describe the overall process. So where it all starts is the United States House of Representatives will bring forth allegations against the president over what they believe was an impeachable offense. There's a whole section in the Constitution that kind of outlines what an impeachable offense is, but it's very generic and very much left up to interpretation. So it's caused a lot of controversy over the years since it's been written. So the House of Representatives will kind of hold some deliberations, they'll, talk about it, they'll debate about it, and then eventually they'll hold a vote over the articles of impeachment, which are basically the charges. So to impeach a president, the House of Representatives, they only need a simple majority. And so there's 435 members of the House of Representatives, so that's only 218 members have to vote in favor of impeaching for a president to be impeached. All right, so let's say that the House of Representatives, say they get the required number of votes. Then the president has been impeached. But what's kind of confusing is that being impeached doesn't mean that you're being removed from office. You're still president even if you're impeached. Because what happens is you get impeached and then it gets brought over to the Senate. And then the Senate, they decide whether or not to remove a president from office. And so kind of the way it works is the Senate will hold a trial. It's not a legal trial, but it is a trial. It looks a lot like a trial at least. And through that, there'll be the same thing. They'll bring forth witnesses, they'll talk about it, there'll be some debate, and then the Senate will vote. But the difference between the Senate and the House of Representatives is that the Senate needs a supermajority to remove a president. And so what a supermajority is, that's 2/3. So there's 100 members in the United States Senate, and so that's 67 members. So 67 senators will have to vote in favor of removing the president, and then and only then is the president removed from office. All right, so now to get into the specifics. So there have been two articles of impeachment brought up against Donald Trump. There was abuse of power and obstruction of Congress. And so the abuse of power, where that comes from, is several months ago, Donald Trump made a phone call to the president of the Ukraine, and during that phone call, it has been alleged that Donald Trump asked the president of Ukraine to perform kind of an investigation on Hunter Biden, which is Joe Biden's son, and then potentially view if there's any corruption there. And so that is viewed as an abuse of power because you can't use your political office for personal gain. So that would be where the abuse of power is coming from. And then the obstruction of Congress, that's more of a procedural offense. So while these impeachment hearings have been going on, Donald Trump has interfered with some of the, or allegedly interfered with what Congress has been trying to do. And so because of those two things, those are the two different articles of impeachment. I think something kind of important to note is that there are two articles of impeachment towards Donald Trump, but neither of them bring any criminal accusations with them. So to kind of draw a comparison, so for Bill Clinton's impeachment, he was charged with perjury, which is like lying under oath. And so because of that, during his impeachment trial, there was also a criminal investigation going on alongside it. And I believe Bill Clinton, he like lost his law license because of it. Like he was found guilty, I think. Um, I think. Don't quote me on that. But he definitely lost his law license. But the difference is, so with Donald Trump, there is no criminal investigation associated with this. It is only a political thing. So what we had yesterday was the United States House of Representatives voted on the two articles of impeachment. And so for the first one, abuse of power, I believe it got 230 votes, and then the second one got 229 votes. So both of those passed. And then I believe it's kind of significant because no Republican members of the House of Representatives, none of them voted for impeachment, and only two Democrats voted against impeachment for the first one, and only three voted against impeachment for the second one. So that's a lot. And then there was one representative that voted present, which is basically just not voting. Um, so I do believe it's kind of significant, or at least interesting, to see how along the party lines people are voting. Nobody's really crossing party lines. Either if you're a Democrat, you're for impeachment. If you're a Republican, you're against impeachment. And I believe that that'll become more relevant later. And so now we're in kind of an interesting situation because Nancy Pelosi, who is the Speaker of the House, she's in charge of the House of Representatives, she is saying that she is going to wait to send the articles of impeachment over to the Senate until she thinks that it will get a fair trial. Because what she's worried about is because Republicans are in control of the Senate, that they're just gonna, kind of brush it aside and not do anything. And kind of with good reason. Mitch McConnell has said that he most likely would just not really have a trial, just kind of vote, just kind of get it over with. And so, because she's worried about that, she's thinking of withholding the articles of impeachment. But let's say in a hypothetical world, she does send them over. So it would go to the Senate, and assuming Mitch McConnell actually lets there be a trial, there would be a trial, and they'd bring forth some witnesses, maybe people from Trump administration that were involved with the call, maybe potentially Hunter Biden, like maybe. That would be interesting. But a bunch of people would talk about it. And then, so as of right now, the United States Senate is made up of 53 Republicans and 47 Democrats. So 20 Republicans would have to flip in order for Donald Trump to be removed from office. I believe that this is a very unlikely scenario because just looking at how along party lines people voted in the House of Representatives, it is very unlikely that Democrats will be able to flip 20 Republican senators. 2, 3 senators, even that would be a stretch. But 20, I think, is close to impossible. But we're going to have to see. So if you enjoyed this video, or maybe if you have any more questions, or maybe I got something wrong, please leave a comment below and let me know what it is. And I really hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.